Guys, welcome back to another episode of Mental Garage. This is just going to be a quick video. We're on the Falcon today, the Turbo Falcon. I did take it out last night, Saturday night, for a bit of a wet drifting sesh. And it started making some really funky noises. It sounds like the wheel bearing was gone in it. I thought I'd come into work today, it's Sunday. I thought, I'll come and fix the wheel bearing. I went to go start the car and it wouldn't move. And I was like, I'll just jack up the car quickly. When I went and jacked up the car, I'll show you what I found. So this is the diff that was in the car. I've got it out because I'm just changing it all over at the moment. But the back hat on the diff cracked, so I went to U-Puller. I've got another diff. This diff does have a spool in it, so I did take the center out of this diff and I'm changing it over with that one. Obviously, to change the center, you got to pull axles and stuff out. So I've done all that already. Sorry about the mess. It is Sunday, so I'm just trying to get this done as quick as possible so I can enjoy the rest of my day. But this is the new housing that I picked up from U-Puller, and that was a complete diff. This one here, I am going to change the spool over from this center to the other center because it does have a lot of metal shavings in here. Like, it was running without any oil while I was out having a bit of fun. So, bearing stuff like that are pretty shot on it. So I'll take it over to the centers over on the bench. So this is the center that was in the car, and this is the new one. As you can see, this one here has oil on it and this one here doesn't. So this was running really dry while I was out. I did notice it was driving fine, and then just started making some real bad wheel bearing noises. So what I've done at the moment is I've got the ring gear off of this diff. Obviously these bolts, when you do take out your center, these bolts are reversed. So you actually got to pretend that you're actually tightening these bolts for them to come out, so the reverse thread. So just a little tip, if you are doing this sort of stuff, just check with your diff if they are reverse thread or not. So I've got the ring gear off. Obviously, I'm just going to show you what it takes to obviously put a spool in. So we're going to take that out. Then you've got in here, you've got these spider gears. So obviously when the diff spins like that, these gears all move around. To get rid of that, obviously, when these gears spin, they spin each axle if it's not a LSD. So we want to get rid of all this sort of stuff. There's a pin in here which I've got to knock that pin out, take all these spider gears out. And okay, so I got the spider gears out basically. So all the spider gears obviously sit inside the diff center there. And then this here sits inside like that, obviously with the spider gears in there. And then you've got these shafts that sit inside. So basically what you've got to do is you've got to hit the big shaft out first, because the small ones, as they sit in there like that, there's no way of hitting them out. So you hit the long one out first, hit that one out, and there'll be two smaller ones. So obviously one goes onto that side like that, and they obviously are evenly spaced out. So once you get all them out, you can pull all your spider gears out. And then what we've got, I've got an old spool here which was out of an EA Falcon. This is I think they were 25 spline, and what we've got in this diff here is a 28 spline. So obviously this here won't work, the splines are different, but basically that there will sit in there like that, and then you just basically put all your the rest of your diff back together. So basically when this is in the car now, instead of having all the spider gears, basically your axle slides in through one way, slides in the other way, and as this spins both your axles at the same time. So that's what a spool does. Instead of having individual gears like this, which obviously turn and spin with each axle, you get rid of them, you put this in there. Obviously like I said, the axles slide into each side, and that locks the diff, so you've always got an LSD. So basically I'm going to throw, when I get this diff here apart, because the spool's still in this diff, this is a different spline spool. But for an example, that's going to sit in there like that. I'm going to put my shafts back in there, and then I can put all the diff back together and get it back in the car. So the center's back in. I put my shims in place on both sides. Make sure you put your shims back in. That way you don't have any troubles when it actually starts spinning. Got my caps back in, that's all nice and tight. So that center's all in properly now. What I've got to do is obviously slide my axles back in, put my brakes back on, finish tightening everything up, put wheels on, and see if it goes LSD, which it should. I've obviously got to put oil back in it. Check if you do get secondhand diffs, check the oil, because basically this diff didn't even have anything in it. So if you do get a secondhand diff, always check your oil before you go to drive it or anything, just to be safe. So get it back together and we can go out and have a bit more fun. All right, axles are back in. What I'm going to do is just spin one side, I can see that that's spinning nicely. It's not, you know, clunking or doing anything weird, so that's good. Do the other side as well, just to check it. Beautiful. So now that diff's going to be all locked up, I know when we go to skid, it's going to spin both wheels instead of just doing one. We don't want one wheel, we want both. Rear hat's all on, got all my sealer in there. Well, that's a perfect amount of sealer. Don't get all sealer that, you know, is just spilling out everywhere. Just put a decent amount, don't overdo it. Looks nice like that. Basically, while we're here, one thing that you guys want to check while you're here, while you've got your rotor off, check your handbrake. So obviously, when I get my rotor now, see, it's a bit hard doing this with one hand, but basically what you want to do is when you put your rotor on there, make sure it goes on, you know, nice and firm. So basically the way that you check your handbrake is when you put your rotor on, if it feels like it goes on really loose, obviously spin that where it expands open, the brake shoe. And then when it feels like your rotor goes on there nice and tight, stop there. Or what you can do is, you know, get to the point where you can't get your rotor on over, you know, the brake shoe, and then just keep backing it off until you can get it on there nice and snug. So your handbrake will work very well when you go to pull it. So just a quick rundown on what's done to this Falcon. In the boot, we've got a Walbro fuel pump. In the glove box, we've got a Microtech ECU. That's been all tuned up. It's running 1000cc injectors, front mount intercooler, pulsar turbo. I made all the dump pipe, exhaust manifold, all that sort of stuff just from, you know, the standard manifold. I cut it up and did some bends, whatever, and pretty much, yeah, made my own dump pipe. It's a stock engine, unopened. Makes 250 kilowatts, 650 newton meters of torque, I think it is. Pretty much I can go put some more boost in it. I think it's about 8-9 psi it's only running. I've still got the standard fuel pressure regulator in it, so that's pretty much what's holding it back from putting some more boost into it. I need to put a different fuel pressure regulator in it and I can turn up the boost, but for what it is, it's plenty of fun. When I do the conversion to the grey Falcon here, I will do the fuel pressure reg and yeah, turn up the boost a little bit and see what it does. This thing's been going for a while the way that it is with a stock engine, so I don't even think I'm going to do head studs and stuff on this engine. This thing here's lasted ages, so if this thing keeps on going, I said that I'm going to do the conversion once this thing blows up. I did blow up the diff. Diff's a pretty easy fix, so I thought I would put another diff in it, keep it going for a little bit longer until the trans or the engine or something blows up. Then I will put all the running gear into the grey Falcon, but see how much longer it lasts and keep you guys updated. Hope you guys have enjoyed just a little quick video on, you know, changing over the diff and a bit of information on what a spool does. So take care, guys. Hope you've all been well, and we'll see you on the next one.